Hey, Joe here. I want to talk about the verse 2 rule in keeping with our production theme this week. Just spent the day shooting a bunch of videos for this new production course. It'll be available in the description. There will be a link for it when it's ready. Sit tight. It's going to be awesome. What is the verse 2 rule? In my opinion, when you're producing something, verse 2, it might be the most important part of the entire production. Why? If I'm listening to your song, and I listen to the intro, and I listen to the verse, and I listen to the chorus. If verse 2 comes around and it sounds exactly like verse 1, I might start reaching for the next button and move on to something else. Why? Because I've already heard it. At that point, I've listened to enough songs to know if verse 2 sounds exactly like verse 1, the rest of the song is going to sound like exactly what I've already heard. And maybe in some situations that's a good thing, but in general that's a bad thing. I don't want to be able to predict where the rest of your song is going. I want to always be on my toes. I want you to always be surprising me, bringing me new information, keeping me interested and engaged. If verse 2 sounds exactly like verse 1, you're going to start to lose my interest. So what does that mean? It could be as simple as adding an extra instrument in verse 2. Some sort of lead guitar that plays some sort of melodic hook, if you saw the last video, that separates verse 2 from verse 1. It could mean you make verse 1 more sparse, less stuff there, so that verse 2 can be different. Could be huge things like no drums in verse 1 and drums in verse 2. I don't care how you get there, and it'll be different for every song, but keep that in mind. It's the same principle for choruses. Chorus 2 should be different from chorus 1. Chorus 3 should be different from chorus 2. Ideally, the last chorus should be the biggest one, and the others should be different. If I were to click through the session and listen to each section, they should all sound different. If they sound exactly the same throughout the song, we've lost something, okay? Now, does this always apply? No, there are examples. In fact, I just got done shooting an example where the choruses, chorus 1 and chorus 2 were pretty similar, but there were major differences between verse 1 and verse 2 that made those similar choruses still work. And then there was a huge thing that happened right at the end of chorus 2 that kept you super engaged because you weren't expecting it to happen, and it bam, hit you in the face. These are all rules of thumb that absolutely can be broken, but try to apply this to your next production and you'll find suddenly things are just a lot more interesting. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.